The Matador is Lubbock's newest Texas Tech store, offering the official Wreck-'em Tech shirt of the Saddle Tramps. Together, the Matador and the Saddle Tramps are ready to gear you up for Texas Tech football. Buy your Wreck-'em Tech shirt at the Matador for only $15 and feel proud that you are supporting the Saddle Tramps and Texas Tech. Start a new tradition. Stop at the corner and shop the Matador or shop online at shopthematador.com.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Matador Express. I'm your host, Everett.
And I'm Gaytan. It's finally baseball season here at Tech, and I don't know about you, but I'm super excited to see Tim Tadlock and his team come out in the field.
Oh yeah, the Red Raiders had a strong opening weekend. They had a lot of fans at Griffin Park. I know they set a couple records with student attendance and with overall weekend attendance, and they ended up scoring 46 runs and 4 straight wins, sweeping San Francisco. So that it was just a really great weekend overall. It was nice weather, nice everything. They were led in that performance, those 46 runs, which was a crazy amount of runs to score in just 4 games. But they were led by junior first baseman Eric Gutierrez, who talked about songs. He won a lot of preseason awards. His name is some preseason watch lists for like the Golden Spikes Award. He led the offense with hitting .750 on the series with an on-base percentage of .842, which is incredibly, that's just like a ridiculous amount. He was getting on base, I think he got on base like 16 of his 19 plate appearances. So just an incredible performance by him and really good offense for the 4-game stretch.
There were some struggles from the team, obviously. It's early on this season, so there's still plenty of time to get this fixed, mostly just finding the strike zone. Too many walks given up, that was a big problem with the game with Nevada. You know, we gave up what was it, like 4?
Yeah, there's 4 walks in a row, I think,
and then
a grand slam.
So obviously they just got to start finding the strike zone, but got plenty of time to figure it all out. I mean, it's just a start. So
yeah, you know, I was really impressed too with some of the younger players that came in. You had Michael Davis, who's like a local Lubbock kid, come in and play third base through most of the series. He had a home run in his first at-bat. First player since like 2010 to do that. Hit a home run in his career debut. It was pretty incredible. And you know, they've had some struggles too behind the plate. Tyler Floyd's played well back there as catcher. He was the backup last year. He's played well back there this year, but he can't catch every game, and they've been trying to find who's going to fill in that backup role for him. They've had Bryant Burleson catch a couple games, but he's had an error so far in each of his 2 starts behind the plate. It doesn't seem like he's making the transition maybe as quickly as they need him to that spot back there. And while the baseball season's kind of getting underway here, the men's and women's basketball teams are both wrapping up. They've got like 4 or 5 games left apiece, and just getting through the rest of that Big 12 schedule before the Big 12 tournament at the end of the year. Both teams played Baylor during this past week, and both teams kept it close, but they took losses. The men played Tuesday night. They're the first team to play Baylor, and they lost to the Bears, even though they were able to keep it close. Forced 16 turnovers for Baylor. They were able to keep it close, but ended up losing 54-49. And I know it's been a rough season for Tubby Smith. He doesn't have a lot of veteran presence on the team, but do you see any bright spots towards the future that maybe could stand out for you?
Definitely from, you know, players like Odiasi, Zach Smith, those guys. Tubby's been saying they have some of the best basketball IQ they've seen. So once those guys, you know, finish the season, I think you'll really start seeing a huge development with them. It's going to be a strong front court, and I think just with time, just giving it, you know, just patience, he can develop a team. Again, it's just not really having senior leadership not as big of a senior presence, because there's only 3 players?
Luke Adams, Clark Lambert, maybe a couple others.
Yeah, so it's Todrick, Robert, Luke Adams, and Clark Lambert, 4 players right there, and, you know, and then the rest are either freshmen or sophomores, so still time to develop, but they got it.
Yeah, I think that
Tech coach Candy Whitaker and the Lady Raiders were also able to keep it close in their game against the number 3 Lady Bears, and but they eventually lost 57-50.
Yeah, you know, they've got some of that same problem. They've just got Kelsey Baker and Amber Battle and maybe one other senior on the team that'll be leading this year. But, you know, they're still tied. Even with that loss to Baylor, they're still tied for 5th or 6th in the conference, because the Big 12 hasn't had the strongest of years in women's basketball. And I think coming back next year, you lose Amber Battle, which is one of your big scorers, and you lose Kelsey Baker's presence down low. But I think Candy's got a recruiting class coming in that'll fill that spot, and Candy's coaching really well, and I think they're going to be a lot better next year and really improve and be near the top of the conference, maybe top 3 or 4. Both the men and women will be home again this weekend with a Saturday doubleheader in the United Supermarkets Arena. The men are going to tip off against Oklahoma at 11 a.m. There's some more giveaways that Tech Athletics is doing. I think they're serving free breakfast before the game, so if you want to get after that, you get some free food. And then the later area will follow with a game against the rival Longhorns at 3. That wraps up this week's episode of Matador Express. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.